Excited to be here with ESG News to kick off Toronto Climate Week with Becky Park-Romanovsky, founder of Toronto Climate Week. So Becky, tell us, why is now the right moment for the City of Toronto to launch its own Climate Week?
Great question, and one that a lot of people have actually been asking me. There is a very big Canada First momentum right now, and apart from everything that is already going on here, I think there is an aspect of humility that a lot of Canadians have, and we often fail to recognize just how much we are already doing in terms of climate work and climate solutions. And so the momentum that has been created with this Canada First movement, coupled with everything that's going on, as well as really the urgency of climate work, have really motivated me and the incredible team of volunteers who's been doing this to take this on and launch it specifically now.
Nice. Thank you, Becky, for that. So organizing a first of its kind event is never easy. What has been the most challenging part of launching Toronto Climate Week?
Oh my God. It's true. It's a first of its kind event, which means a lot of individuals and organizations had to put their faith in us and trust us to first do this and do this well. And we had to convince them that we're the right people to take this on. That was a big one. And, you know, you all know, coordinating events, all the little details, all the financing and funding, it was a lot. But that's not just it. We also built basically a startup in 4 months while also planning this huge event. So we got the team together. We had to establish role responsibilities and processes and teams and communications between those teams and build all the tools and build a website and get our, Gmail. So all of those processes building alongside a huge event such as this was the big challenge.
It's kind of like flying the plane while you're building the plane at the same time.
Exactly.
But you have all done fantastic, so congratulations.
Thank you.
So Toronto is a hub for both finance and tech. How will this week bridge those worlds to accelerate climate solutions?
I think, and many support me in this, that Toronto is not just a hub for finance and tech, but also a hub for climate innovation. And that's what we want to bring to the forefront by doing this. We are highlighting that, yes, there is a lot of tech and there is a lot of finance, and we're bringing all of these big actors into the conversations, but also that it is a hub for climate innovation and showing all the work that's already happening here, and then answering the question of what else do we need to do and how do we become that globally recognized hub for climate solutions?
Yeah, there's a lot going on and not everyone knows, so I think this is the right moment. How are you spotlighting local Toronto and Canadian innovators, Indigenous leaders, and grassroots groups in the program?
Excellent question. We actually spent a lot of time thinking and working on this. In terms of innovators, we partnered up with Octia to host a pitch competition. So we invited all of the VCs that I personally knew and others as well to put together a full day of pitch competition to make sure, it's not a full day, to put together a pitch competition to make sure that startups do have that opportunity to speak to potential funders and advance their work. And then actually from the very beginning, right when we launched, we had a task force, we called it, of volunteers reaching out to grassroots communities, Indigenous leaders, BIPOC, to make sure that they are invited from the very beginning. We had to do our classic fundraising and talk to the big corporates, but we made sure that actually 50% of us at that time were dedicated specifically to reaching out to those communities so that they feel invited and they know of this ahead of time and have the time to prepare to join us.
Yeah, 50% of your staff dedicated to this is a lot. And I know that in the opening ceremonies program today, there's also, we're opening with Indigenous leaders as well. So
that's a good reminder. We'll also put together specifically a panel for Indigenous leadership.
Fantastic. So what do you want the international business and investor communities to know about climate action in Toronto?
That there's so much going on here already. I honestly myself had no idea, and I've been working here creating communities for 3 years. And I thought I knew most of the big actors, and then I started Toronto Climate Week, and I realized I didn't know the half of it.
Mhm.
And not just that there is all of these climate focused companies and individuals, but also that almost every single big corporation working on their own business also has dedicated goals and departments to specifically environment and climate work.
Mhm.
And so this is the perfect place to come and establish your next business or expand your business to, because our policy is stable
Mm.
and and we support climate and the environment. And Canadians inherently feel and understand the value of environment. So this is a very culturally receptive place to this kind of work, and an economically and policy supportive.
Nice. Thank you, Becky. So, on to a fun question.
Mhm.
What are 3 things you're most looking forward to this week?
Well, first of all, today's programming. So we are True North Rising, our kickoff event, and I have coerced many leaders and the top minds in working in climate in Canada to come and speak about their work and mull over the question of how do we position ourselves as a global climate hub, which is Toronto Climate Week's mission. So really listening to them and hearing what they have to say. And similarly, I'm really looking forward to go to as many events as possible. I have a really packed schedule, and seeing what the events have turned out to be, but also how else can we help them? How can we support them? How can we do better next year? And the third is, I guess, just meeting everyone and talking to everyone, from event organizers to attendees to our volunteers. And again, hearing what they have to say and what else can we do and how can we make it bigger and better next year.
This is, I feel like, truly an inflection point. Climate action will be forever changed after this in Toronto.
I hope so.
It's going to be a thing. So when you look back at everything that went into producing this event, what will you be most proud of?
The team, 100%. This is run by volunteer power and specifically passion for climate and Canada. And we've had 40 volunteers dedicating day and night pretty much. I don't know how they kept their jobs, but they have been just incredible and so powerful. And we would not be able to do any of this without them. So that's 100% what I'm the most grateful for.
Thank you. I agree. You have a fantastic team. And thanks for sitting down with us today, Becky.
Thank you for the interview. Thanks for your time.